Howdy gang, today we are going to do a little experiment and we're going to find out if the Yeti tumbler is really worth the money you spend. So today we have 3 different tumblers. Each one of these are 30 ounces from 3 different manufacturers. On the far left we have a Walmart brand which comes in right about $12. In the middle is a Turvis brand, which is about $19.99, and on the far right we have the Yeti, which comes in about $35. Today's experiment, I'm going to put ice up to the top on all 3 of these. We're going to go ahead and we're going to sit them out in the middle of the heat in the sun and wait an hour and see what happens. Alright, so I live here in Central Florida and it's about the 9th of March and the air temperature is around 79 degrees, but in the sun is right around 90 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this into time-lapse mode for an hour in the middle of this heat and find out who holds up the best. Alright, so we're back with our 3 tumblers after, I don't know, I've left it about an hour and a half out in the sun, all 3 of them. Same amount of ice and everything. And what we're going to do is we're going to test these to see how much ice actually melted. I have a measuring cup here, and we're going to see which one is holding the most water, and that's going to tell us which one retained the ice the best. So we're going to start first with our Walmart brand, and we're going to take our measuring cup, open up the slot at the top, and we're going to pour out the amount of water that actually melted in an hour and a half. Okay, let's have a look and see what it says. This right here says it lost right around 1/2 of a cup. Okay, so that's the Walmart brand. Next on the list is the Turvis. Okay, let's go ahead and pop the lid on that. We're going to go ahead and dump that into the measuring cup and see how much water we got out of that. Alright, and our measuring cup says it's right around 2.5 ounces. Walmart had 4 ounces. Alright, so we're going to measure that and we're going to move on to the Yeti. Last but not least, the 30-ounce Yeti Rambler or tumbler. We're going to go ahead and pour out what water is left in here. Absolutely no water. Look at, see that? No water whatsoever. The results are in the Walmart tumbler. We lost 4 ounces, which is around 1/2 a cup. The Turvis, we lost about 2.5 ounces. And the Yeti, I didn't lose any ice. There's no water that was left in there. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I believe the Yeti tumbler is worth the money. In my opinion, the Walmart No Name, which we lost 4 ounces of water in, it just feels thin. It doesn't feel like it has a whole lot to it. It's just like a metal cup. All right. The Turvis actually feels like it's put together a little bit better and stuff. But it still did lose about 2.5 ounces. Yeti, this is a solid feeling cup all around, okay? And I'm going to tell you why I believe this is worth the money. Yeti Ramblers, or tumblers, are actually uniquely designed, okay? They're designed out of what's called rotomolding, as well as the coolers. They're designed without any kind of seams, all right, to help prevent the loss of cold or heat, and they're double insulated. Not to mention the fact that they're very, very, very durable. You can drop these things. There's only one replaceable part, and that would be your lid on here. Now I'm going to show you another thing that I think it stands above the rest when it comes to Yeti. The lids. This is the deciding factor right here on top of, not to mention the insulating contents of these tumblers. The lids are your deciding factor on whether the heat or the cold is going to escape from here. Now we're going to take this cheap Walmart lid. I'm going to pop it off there. You can see it's got a nice little rubber seal and stuff like that. But it's got a really cheap little inlet, outlet, all right? And it can snap. It's plastic. So I'm not a really big fan of that, and I believe that this whole seal design is probably one of the deciding factors of why that lost so much water. Onto the Traverse, it's a little bit better. It's got a little bit meatier of a seal on here, but this lid, you can see, look, it's just got the plug on there that sits down in there, and it can easily be popped off and all that stuff, and it's very breakable. Let me show you a little trick about the Yeti. This is a non-breakable lid slider. And you guys out there that have a Yeti or don't, here's a little secret. You may know it, may not know it. This is magnetic. See this? This is magnetic. Alright, so when I set this thing down there, magnetism from that helps seal this lid shut. Not to mention, that's a nice pop of a seal that's going on there. It's double lined. So don't forget, you can show this little thing to your friends. A lot of people that own Yetis have no idea that these little clips are magnetic. And that's part of the reason is success of keeping this ice almost completely unthawed for hours and hours and hours. There you guys have it. That's my 2 cents on the Yeti Rambler. Okay, you just saw a little test I did on 3 different brands. And you know, there's no smoke and mirrors when it comes to this. Yeah, you're going to spend a little bit of extra money. You're going to, you know, every time you go into Dick's Sporting Goods or Academy and stuff, they got a big display and you'll be like, ooh, but you just can't see yourself coming up off that money. Listen, if you're going to be out on the water kayaking or going to be out camping or walking around in the woods all day, you want to have something that's going to keep your ice cold pretty much for the entire day, it's worth the money to me, all right? But if you want a cheap knockoff brand and stuff like that, it'll also do the job for you as well. I still haven't brought myself to believing of spending $400 on one of their coolers, even though they're pretty much indestructible. But to each and every one their own. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Until next time, I'll see you on the next one.